Good evening. This is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Want to try to do a quick video, not ramble like usual, but I probably will. So I'm going to start off on our website, madcowx.com. Be sure you come to this to our website, take advantage of it. The forecast is, I post it here usually an hour or so before it goes on any social media. If you're on Twitter, definitely be sure that you come here, since I can't post as much information on Twitter. The full forecast text is always here. And there's live radar, except for like right now, there's apparently something that's happened that has knocked our GR level 3 out. But and that's probably on my, there it is. So the radar is always here. I'm having internet issues this evening, so bear with me. But at any rate, and if there are severe events or snow events, I'll usually zoom in closer. As you can see, that you can run it on a loop or just on a still frame. But I'll zoom it in closer to Madison County if there are significant weather events. Again, I wish that we made the kind of money where I could afford something, a radar that's more interactive for you. But this is better than nothing anyway. So. And of course, I do blog posts periodically. I really need to get onto that. I get between trying to do the weather and my city responsibilities, I get pulled 1,000 different directions. So I'm kind of slacking on the blog posts, but I need to get on that. And of course, our sponsors, you always see our sponsors in our text and on our forecast graphics, but you can also go to madcowx.com if you want to interact with any of them. And especially since here recently Facebook's gotten really sketchy about being able to tag them. I don't know what's going on there, but you can come to our website, click on any of their icons, and go and check out what they've got. Check out their websites, because these will link to their websites. So got my wife Joy Mitchell, her Scentsy page. If you need anything that smells good, do oil diffusers, wax warmers, scented waxes, scented oils, laundry stuff, counter cleaners. They've got so many different things. So definitely check her out if you need things that smell good. And that's also a help to me as well. And Anderson Symphony Orchestra, and my lovely friend Darla, who runs that, began running that this year. So she's doing an awesome job. If you haven't checked out the symphony, they're truly one of the city and county's unknown, kind of untapped, really gems. We've been to see them a couple of times. If you haven't seen the symphony, they are outstanding. Madison County Federal Credit Union was our first paying sponsor, and I'm very appreciative of them. And I need to get my stuff together here soon and transfer my weather accounts over to them as well. So let them take care of your financial needs as I'm getting ready to have them do mine. And then, of course, as you scroll down, there's a Community Hospital of Anderson. While we all hope that none of us have to make use of the emergency room, there are so many other medical services that Community of Anderson offers. So definitely let them take care of your medical needs. And Waitman Realty Group, whose sweater I just happen to be wearing this evening, let them take care of your real estate needs. If you need to get something sold and hit the market while it's good, definitely get a hold of Jeff and the Waitman Realty Group. So and over on the side, of course, you can click the Support Us tab and support us monthly or support us with one-time donations. It's very appreciated. I appreciate our sponsors. I appreciate those of you who have donated, and those of you who are monthly subscribers. Any amount. I've got a couple of people who do $1 a month, and but with the thousands of people that follow this page, I mean, that can make a big impact really fast. So definitely do that. So I'm already rambling, so let's take a look at what we've got upcoming with our weather. Again, of course, the 7-day forecast, we picked up about a quarter inch or so of rain today. Temperatures are on their way down now after we hit 60 degrees early in the afternoon. We're down into the 40s already. So we're going to modify quite a bit over the course of the weekend, get more wintry feeling. We're in a transitional period, transitional time of year where we're prone to spike up real warm real quick and then turn cold real quick and then spike up warm real quick. And that's kind of the roller coaster we're going to be on here for the next couple of weeks. So although we expect by the end of next week the cold to become more dominant than the warm. So we'll taking a look here at we'll go to pivotal weather, take a look at what we expect over the next couple of days. And we're going to start off with the NAM 3K just because it's high resolution and I think it has a pretty reasonable grip on what we can expect for tomorrow. So as we take a look, most of the rain is gone. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, this is around 2, 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you can see that we'll begin to have some precipitation fill back in as the upper level low swirls to our northeast. It's going to start to draw cold air in from, even more cold air in from the northwest, and that's going to bring some precipitation in that may start off as rainfall. And then as you can see, there may be some pockets of pretty vigorous either snow or graupel or sleet that may develop early tomorrow evening. And as the precipitation begins to wind down, as you see that, the precipitation is going to be getting out of here with that low as it kind of moves off to our northeast. But we may pick up some, it may be possible we could get a quick enough, hard enough squall that we might whiten some grassy areas up, in a hurry tomorrow afternoon, but it'll melt off quickly as well because the ground's plenty warm right now. So, as you can see, those squalls will then taper down as we get later into tomorrow evening into early Saturday. So then we'll move on. The model I think has a better grip right now is the NAM, because I think a couple of the models are trying to go a little too warm, a little too far north with the precipitation. Especially the European really wants nothing, very little to do with any kind of wintry precipitation on Sunday. And so, we know in this time of year that is a risk. So all we can do is wait and see. But usually clippers aren't real big about pumping in warmth like what the European was kind of trying to do. So we'll take a look at, again, as you look at the NAM, this is through tomorrow, what we just talked about. And then as we get into really early Sunday, late Saturday evening, early Sunday morning, that's probably 4 a.m. right here, you begin to see that the snowfall, this precipitation wants to move in, and the NAM is coming in with a pretty decent snowfall hit. If it comes in this early, as I've kind of had in our forecast for a few days, that gives us the better chances of seeing enough snow to whiten grassy areas, whiten elevated surfaces. I don't expect road impacts. Again, the roads are going to be plenty warm. Temperatures are going to be pretty marginal. Sunday morning, maybe right around freezing or so. So I really don't expect any kind of road impacts. But it's possible that things may whiten up briefly Sunday morning before the precipitation begins to get out of here Sunday. Again, there may be a little bit of an extra wave that comes through Monday, so we could see a little bit of hit or miss precipitation early Monday as well before the clouds begin to diminish and we begin to see this cold air pull away as our upper level low pulls away. So again, the NAM wants to put down a couple of inches of snow. That might be what falls from the sky. I just don't think that's going to be what sticks to the ground. Again, it's going to have to snow pretty hard for it to stick to the ground and whiten things up. That is possible at times, but it'll melt off. So, but it is just our tomorrow and Saturday night into Sunday are just our first little hints at wintry weather that we'll have had for this fall. It's just kind of to get us in the mood. And then beyond that, as we look back at the forecast, we'll spike back up into the 50s by midweek. So anything that does fall over the weekend is going to have little to no impact. Again, if we're going to have any kind of road impacts, I would think it would be Sunday night, where bridges, if they remain wet, we drop below freezing. The cold air is able to go underneath the road surfaces on bridges. So needless to say, they have the best chances of falling below freezing. So if we're going to have any kind of iciness on roadways, it might be on bridges. and that's if the winds don't dry the roads up. So that'll be something we'll now cast a little bit more. So looking a little farther down the road, I don't want to get too far into the weeds. I know some of you have seen, just like last week, a lot of you were seeing the one model run that was putting down 7 inches of snow for Sunday, and of course that's not going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. I told you all I didn't think it was going to happen. There's been a model run or two that have tried to torch it around Thanksgiving. One that was being passed around yesterday by a couple of different sources, one of which was bad mouthing the people who were sharing the snow forecast, and then they turn around and share the torch forecast, which is equally as unlikely to happen. There were a couple of GFS runs that were trying to put us well into the 60s on Thanksgiving. Don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to be in probably the 40s on Thanksgiving. So, but with some of you seeing that, I just wanted to kind of address that. I just don't think that that's what's going to happen. There's also some chatter out there. It's borderline canceling winter already. That's always craziness this time of year. Because just the same as we're not going to just turn cold and stay cold at the end of next week. Cold is just going to become more prevalent than the warm, but we will still have warm shots, especially ahead of storm systems. We're not just going to torch out in December either. So if you're a winter lover, don't be panicking because you're seeing some sources that are trying to torch us out already. In fact, there's some things going on in the upper levels that I mentioned last week. I should have pulled that up on here to show you. But I mentioned last month that there were some changes going on up at the 10 millibar level that kind of pointed to a change, an atmospheric change that maybe kind of precede any sea surface changes. That I'm trying not to get too far off into the weeds here. I'll just say that I'm not really sold on what most of the thoughts have been is a cold first half of the winter, cold and snowy, and then a warm second half of the winter. I'm not totally sold on that because of some of the transition that's beginning to happen that's maybe not being seen in the sea surface temperatures just yet. But the atmosphere is kind of tipping off that it may be coming. And really, when you look at the El Nino Southern Oscillation, whether we're in El Nino or La Nina, when it's locked into a state, that's not as impactful for our snow chances as being in a transition. And I think we might be starting into a transition by the time we're getting halfway through winter, which may help out snow chances because it makes the pattern a little more volatile versus just getting locked into one spot. We saw a couple of winters ago, we got locked into one spot and everything was going off to our northwest and we couldn't get a good snow here all winter. I think we had one snow that was over 3 inches a couple winters ago. So you don't want to get locked into anything. To me, I like looking at let's see if this loads back up. As you can see, I'm having internet issues. I like looking out here and seeing, there's some people are looking at the big trough out here in the North Pacific, which doesn't always bode well for us getting cold in the eastern U.S. And yet we've got that big trough out there, and we've also got cold air that's getting ready to plunge in here behind this storm system because we've got a little bit of a ridge out here in the western U.S. So we've got a little positive PNA, even though we've got a negative eastern Pacific oscillation. There's this big ridge. It's not even really, it's barely on the image here, back over eastern Asia, northeastern Asia, over eastern Russia. That's helping to kind of disturb things. I like looking and seeing volatility. I like seeing a lot of waves, and because that means there's going to be some storminess to be had. And honestly, when we have our bigger snows, it's when we spike up warm real fast and then get cold air coming right in behind a storm system. That a lot of times it's when we get our bigger snows versus it just turning cold and staying cold. So, and I don't think we're going to turn warm and stay warm like we have a lot of the last handful of Decembers. So, I'll maybe put something together a little more for winter. I didn't do a winter forecast this year because they're just such a crapshoot. I do think by the time our snow season's said and done, here in Madison County, we average about 20 inches of snow per winter. I think we're going to be more in the 25 to 35 range, a lot like last year, except last year, most of ours all happened in 3 weeks in February. I think we're going to be spread out a little bit more, maybe a little front weighted. I really like what I'm seeing for December. I think our chances of a white Christmas are pretty decent. So, again, I'm going to cut this off right here, but I just kind of wanted to touch on what's coming up, kind of let you see something visual on what snow may look like for the weekend. And I definitely wanted to just kind of calm down any fears that we're going to torch out for December, because I just don't think that's going to happen. If I see a change, I'll let you know. I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong. But I just ignore the noise for now and wait and see what starts to set up. So, with all that blabbing said, this is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Again, support us, support our sponsors. We appreciate all of you who do, and hopefully this is just the first of many snow events to come here in the near future. So, with all that said, this is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates, and we will talk to you later. Thank you.